Do you want to learn how to go from lasting 30 seconds to lasting 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, however long you like? Well, in today's video, I'm going to teach you how to combat premature ejaculation and last longer in the bed. My name is Sterling Cooper. I'm an award-winning adult film star, the world's best sex coach for men, and I'm here to help you transform your sex life. Now, some people try to define premature ejaculation as orgasming before X number of minutes. And that's a completely useless definition, because all that does is create some way for you to cope and detach your ego from the fact that you don't have control over your own body. A more practical definition of premature ejaculation, which we're going to stick with and use, is basically just coming before you want to, not having control over when you ejaculate. So what are the overall causes of premature ejaculation? Well, things like anxiety, guilt, stress, depression, these can all contribute to and cause dudes to prematurely ejaculate. In fact, anxiety, in terms of performance anxiety, which some people confuse as erectile dysfunction, there's a strong link between premature ejaculation and performance anxiety. So the two actually tend to go quite hand in hand a lot of the time. Dude can't even get hard, and when he gets hard for like a few seconds and he busts his nut super quickly. That is intimately tied into a feeling of anxiety, and that's the guy feeling anxious about his sexual performance and anxious about the prospect of having a bad sexual performance. And lo and behold, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. Certain medications can actually cause premature ejaculation. Now, low serotonin levels have been associated with premature ejaculation, and conversely, high serotonin levels have been associated with longer, more delayed ejaculations. Interestingly enough, some SSRIs, like antidepressant medications, are actually prescribed to treat premature ejaculation. However, I do not recommend you take antidepressants for this, because you can fix it naturally, very easily. Other causes of premature ejaculation are pelvic floor tension. So the pelvic floor is basically this hammock-like series of muscles that run underneath your groin region. When there's too much tension in the pelvic floor, what can happen is that basically puts you into an orgasmic ejaculatory state from the very get-go. There's no wonder you can't control the ejaculation, because your body is literally kind of pushing you into it straight away. And the final cause of premature ejaculation is basically conditioning, Pavlovian conditioning, or it being a conditioned response. And this is primarily done through masturbation habits. Guys will fall into this really stupid habit of, when they masturbate or when they jerk off to porn or whatever, they're busting their nut as quickly as they possibly can. Okay, fantastic. Well, you got your rocks off, but what is that doing to your body? It's literally conditioning your brain and your penis to finish as fast as you possibly can. So it's no surprise at all that when it comes time to perform in the bedroom with a beautiful lady, that you're not able to last very long, because you've literally trained your body to be a sprinter, to get to that finish line as quickly as you possibly can. In most competitive sports, that's a great thing. In sex, not so much. Now, one thing that guys very frequently jump to treat this problem is desensitizing creams. And these are stupid. Do not use a desensitizing cream. Two reasons. Like I said before, I'm going to give you a bunch of ways to fix this problem for free right now. And two, when you use desensitizing cream, it rubs off onto the lady. So her clitoris is going to be completely desensitized now too. So fantastic. You can't feel anything, and neither can she. Great. Well, that sounds like an extremely subpar sexual experience for both of you. So what are some techniques and exercises that you can do to last longer in the bedroom? Well, this first one is a concept that is actually pretty common in the adult industry, and we call it worst first. You want to start with your worst sex position first, the one that you find the least enjoyable and the least stimulating. And the reason for this tends to be, if you can last 5 minutes, those first 5 minutes are really where the danger zone is. And if you can get past the first 5 minutes, if you cannot be so overexcited that you bust your nut in those first 5 minutes, okay, well, great. Now you've got control. You've overcome that excited energy and that excited state, and you've regained control, and now you're able to enjoy the sexual experience without worrying if you're going to finish too soon. Another technique is to understand and recognize your point of no return. So the point of no return is that point at which any more stimulation whatsoever and you are orgasming, there's no way to prevent it, it's happening. A lot of the time when a guy can't control his ejaculation, it's because he has no mind-body connection. He does not even understand his own body. So he doesn't even know where his own point of no return is. So you should absolutely be able to recognize, okay, I'm approaching the point of no return. You should be able to get right up to it and calm down again, rather than racing to the point of no return and flying off the cliff and being like, oh shit, I didn't see that coming. You need to be able to recognize that point of no return. And a large part of being able to start to recognize that is really just to play around with it during sex and during masturbation, so you can start to create more of that intimate mind-body connection and recognize where that is. Now, this next technique is something called kinking the hose. Basically, you'll have while you have your erection or whatever, you're going to apply pressure up and down with two fingers, right? So one finger's going up, one finger's going down, and effectively you're creating a kink. Just like you would do, you know, when you're a kid in your backyard and like you're spraying the hose around. If you put a kink in the hose, it stops the water flowing through, right? We're not doing this to stop the ejaculate coming out. What we're actually doing is kind of putting a kink in the nerves that run up and down the penile shaft. It's not dangerous, doesn't hurt you, it's not painful, doesn't cause any damage, but it's literally just breaking the nerve signal for a little bit to allow you to regain composure, regain control, and not race towards that point of no return like we mentioned. Now, this next technique is kind of interesting. It's come about through anecdotal evidence from a few different guys who've told me this. Riding a bicycle. So riding a bicycle puts a lot of pressure on your pelvic floor along those muscles at the very, very base of your penis. And those are the same muscles that I mentioned before, which carry that tension and can cause you to prematurely ejaculate. A friend of mine told me this fun story how he was riding his bicycle for several days across Europe, and then he ended up encountering this lovely young lady, and they had a tryst, they had a bit of romance together, and he was like, I couldn't finish because I'd been riding my bike for like a week straight. And I knew another guy in Portland who used to ride bikes a lot, and he noticed the same little thing. And oddly enough, when I was a kid, I used to ride my bicycle every day after school, and I have never ever had a problem controlling my ejaculation. I've never had premature ejaculation in my life. There's never been a problem. And I think there must be some correlation there. This is purely speculation. I think there must be a correlation between applying consistent pressure to like the pelvic floor region with a bike seat and being able to last longer. I'd be very curious. Anyone in the comment section who is a cyclist, please let me know. Do you have an issue with premature ejaculation? Let's use this as an opportunity to get some kind of more anecdotal evidence. Leave a comment down below if you ride bicycles often. So here are a few more exercises you can do, which will also help to overcome this problem. Meditation. Meditation is a fantastic way to keep you out of your head and keep you away from that anxious kind of energy that can lead to premature ejaculation. You know, we talked about before, anxiety, guilt, depression, shame, these negative emotions can trigger premature ejaculation. So if we meditate and we make it a frequent, consistent habit, we learn to become more peaceful with our own mind, and that will help us to remain more calm, remain more focused, remain more present in the moment, and you'll not only be a better lover because of that, but you'll be one that has a lot more control. Pelvic floor bridges. These are another fantastic exercise you can do to strengthen that entire pelvic region, because we want to have not just a relaxed pelvic floor, but a strong one at the same time. So pelvic floor bridges are a fantastic exercise for you to incorporate into your weekly exercise routine. We talked about how premature ejaculation can be a conditioned response, so we can do the complete opposite. We can recondition our body's response to sexual stimulation. You do this through deliberate masturbation. Now, I would not really recommend masturbation for anything else, to be perfectly honest, but in this particular problem, with this particular context, this particular instance, it's the one situation where masturbation can actually help you to recalibrate and recondition your body. So instead of masturbating furiously and coming as quickly as you can, instead you're going to be patient, you're going to take your time, and when you masturbate, you're going to deliberately edge And this comes back to getting to know that point of no return we talked about. So you're gonna build up that sensation, get close to the point of no return, be able to recognize it, stop before you go past the point of no return, calm down again, regain your composure, and then start again. Doing this during masturbation is going to retrain your body to last longer. Now this might take several weeks of practice. It's not going to happen instantly overnight, but that is a practice you can implement to start to recondition this body. That is if you have the habit of masturbating extremely quickly. If you recognize that that's how you masturbate, then this kind of reconditioning work can fix that. And the last exercise I'll recommend to you is something called a reverse Kegel. Some people will be familiar with Kegels. It's kind of this, it's the muscle you kind of flex when you're trying to stop pee from coming out. But a reverse Kegel, most people have never heard of. If a Kegel is like the contraction, a reverse Kegel is like the release. Think of it like a bicep curl, muscle contracting and then muscle lengthening and releasing. Kind of doing the exact same thing, but with Kegels. You can actually just make this a habit while you're peeing. This is probably the easiest way to get this exercise routinely into your lifestyle, is every time you go to the toilet and pee, try to push the pee out as fast as you can. What you're actually doing there is a reverse Kegel. It's like a push down kind of feeling on that pelvic floor region. What that's doing is actually releasing the tension down there in the pelvic floor region. Because remember how we said before, when that pelvic floor region is super tight, it's too tight, it's over tight, that can cause you to prematurely ejaculate because you're basically ready to go in a second. You're already primed and ready to finish because of the tension that you're holding down there. Now, another tried and tested technique for lasting longer is when you feel yourself, getting a bit too excited, well, you just pull out and go down on your partner. And if you want to know where guys go wrong when they're going down on women, well, you should check out this video right over here.